What's going on, everybody? My name is Tanner Markle.
And I'm Erek Doty.
And we are Green Desert Gaming. Green Desert Gaming, a show where every 2 weeks, two guys, sometimes three, come together to talk about a game. The goal of the show is to play games of all eras and come together and talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
like it.
And today we have a special guest with us.
Hi, my name's Kyle.
Hey Kyle, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
And today we are going to be talking about the original Gears of War, which came out in 2006 for the Xbox 360. It was
Developed by Epic Games, right?
developed by Epic Games and published by Microsoft Studios.
Yeah.
So Kyle, why do you want to play Gears of War with us this week?
Well, I've played the later games. I hadn't played the first one before. Listened to your past few podcasts.
Cool.
And I like playing video games.
Did you play Gears of War when it originally came out in 2000?
No. When
I
I was
didn't.
in high school, I played.
Cool. I was going to clear, I didn't say. It came out on November 7th, 2000. Just to give a clearer take of that.
Yeah, I don't think I've played much of it.
You
played,
didn't play it when it came out?
Not this game when it came out. No, I played later ones. I think I probably played 2 or 3, and I played most of the campaign, if not all of it, but I hardly remember.
Yeah, this is my first experience with any of the Gears of War games. I really don't know that much about it. You guys are going into this with more knowledge than I have, so...
Not really. More just gameplay knowledge.
Yeah.
Really, not even any lore.
See, I don't know which one I played. I played Gears of War 2 or Gears of War 3 with our other friend, dual friend Jacob Allen.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was. We just played Horde mode.
I think I played 2 or 3. Which one of those?
That's mainly what I've played that I remember.
So the Gears of War franchise, like we were kind of saying, is a franchise. It's kind of the flagship Microsoft shooter franchise. If you're playing on an Xbox, chances are you've played Gears of War, or at least seen the characters in it.
Yeah. Or the symbols or something about
their
it.
cog symbol's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
They have a Gears of War Edition Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that came out with 5, though. So.
Yeah.
But it's a game with a long legacy. Is Gears of War 5, I don't know anything about it. Is Gears of War 5 like planning on being the end of it?
Oh, I have no idea.
No
I never
idea.
played it. I just know it goes off of like Marcus, the main character in this game. The 4 is about his son,
Yeah.
and then 5 is about his daughter or some other girl that has to do with 4. I'm not too sure. Never played them. Just kind of what I've heard.
I couldn't imagine a world without like a new Gears of War game though, so...
Yeah, I feel they're getting close to the end though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either the world's gonna
You don't
end
see
or
6,
they're gonna
like-
kill them all finally.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5? Is there Far Cry 6? Is
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're about to release one. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's...
it's
Going
in the
to
works.
And it's actually...
Final Fantasy 6.
Well, Final Fantasy is like 15 or 16,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like,
Resident Evil 6.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of Kingdom.
I mean, it
we're in Elder Scrolls 6.
takes a good
Started back
franchise
today.
to make it to 6 games, that's
Elder
for sure.
Online.
So in Gears of War, you're tasked with pretty much fighting another world war. You're on this planet Sarah, which is a surrogate Earth. It's pretty much Earth. And there are these 2 competing factions, from what I understand.
That's the planet we're on now, is Sarah?
Sarah.
I did not know that. I
S-E-R-A.
thought we were on Earth.
No, we are actually on a different planet.
Alright, fuck this.
The 2 factions are the Coalition of Ordered Governments. Yeah, I got that one. What's the next one? The Union? No.
It's like the Union of the United Independent Republic.
Pretty damn close. It's actually the Union of Independent Republics. So, semantic. Gears of War 1 starts on this event, which is kind of like, it's E-Day, which is what it's referred to in the first game, from what I hear. It's Emergence Day, the day that the Locust came to the surface and started attacking.
Today is the day that it started?
The day Marcus gets out of jail is Emergence Day.
So that's when they breach the surface.
That is
We've
when-
been dealing with them before. They just finally reached the surface, or
No, they came from space.
but
No,
they were,
No, they came from space.
But how'd they get under the ground then?
That's where the emulsion is.
So
if you see at the end of this game,
yeah,
you see all of them are mining down there. They have barrels. They got pipes twisting all over.
So they came from space. They were already there.
So you know how we were fighting over emulsion?
Yeah,
they wanted it.
So they were already there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they go in and then they go underground, and now they're fighting for it. Now that they have it, they're fighting us that are on surface.
Yep. So they can keep it.
So from what I understand, maybe these two governments were on the surface, and maybe they didn't know about the Locust, because the Locusts were under the surface doing their mining operations, and then the Locust came to the surface on this event, Emergence Day. Because I don't know if they knew about the Locust before Emergence Day.
The first game doesn't give you much lore on that. They just kind of throw you in saying, like, hey, Marcus, we need you.
So I guess we'll just go ahead and start there. You start off, your character is Marcus Fenix. Isn't that a badass name?
Yeah, I just called him Phoenix the whole time because I really like that last name.
Yeah, it's way cool. You start off in a jail cell. Your friend Dominic.
Dom.
Yeah. What's his last name?
It's his brother.
Hernandez?
But it's definitely a brother that is mentioned.
So it's not Dom who's actually getting you out?
No, that is Dom.
Oh,
but it's on Hoffman, who is the lieutenant of the car.
So what's Dom's last name? Dom Hernandez?
Sure. I don't know.
I have to.
I only knew him because they call him Phoenix, but the rest of the time they just call him Dom.
No, Dom is the guy that's pulling Phoenix out
of jail. Yeah, that's him. I don't know. I don't remember him ever saying his last name.
But
you mentioned his brothers, and I think it's more brothers of war rather than actual brother.
But it's a relationship that is exactly
they
like
call each other brothers.
We should talk about this game. It is the broiest game in the world.
It is.
You play it with your homies.
It's just a bunch of meathead dudes
murdering
with muscles bigger than their brains, just shooting shit.
Yeah. Yep. My favorite thing is every time Felix gets into a little scuffle and he kills him real quick, he's just
nice.
Like, "Oh yeah," or "Nice." He gets real happy about it. He loves murdering them. Yeah. It's awesome. And there's some other, I'll mention later, but like there's other little tidbits that he throws in there that are just like small little like, yeah, bro, and like just having a good time or just being a badass.
So I don't know if they really cover it in the first game, but Marcus Fenix is in a government prison, and the reason that they are breaking you out is because you are a war-torn soldier, you know what you're doing, and
I think his backstory is a hero, like he was a war hero.
Yeah, and I don't know why...
But he fought authority on something.
I'm sure...
Which is, I think, this Hoffman guy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason why he's in prison, but they don't tell you about it in the first game.
As far as I understand it, it has something to do with going against an order or being charged with something that he was ordered to do and being, like... They fucked him over, is all I understand.
And that holds true with his personality throughout the game. Yeah. He has a very distrust for any authority figure.
Yeah, and he, especially Hoffman, because I think Hoffman had something to do with it originally.
He does. I'm sorry, Hoffman is the lieutenant commander guy.
Yeah, okay. You meet him right after you get out. So
that's what we were tasked with. So you're in jail, and Dom comes to get you out. And this is kind of your tutorial area. You're given an option to go...
You can go straight to the courtyard and start murdering, or you can
do a fighting tutorial where it teaches you the works.
Where you go through this building that you're in and you fight some enemies to kind of get used to your gun. And this...
Which I recommend because the mechanics of this game.
This is a good place to talk about it. The mechanics of this game, I am not used to it. I have never played a cover-based shooter before, and this is... 100% a cover-based shooter.
Yeah, if you're not behind cover, you're getting shot.
Yeah,
definitely.
All their NPCs were mad accurate.
And I died so many times just because if you're not behind cover, you die nearly instantly.
And then your circle of red death.
Yeah, and it just happened so quickly that it took me a while to get used to, for sure.
Yeah, and then the dodge roll and the thing I hated the most, pressing B with your damn chainsaw gun, and not killing anyone.
And then you gotta run around for a minute until you kind of lock into the enemy.
I saw a thing where it said if you get hit while doing it, you're done. It stops.
Really? Yeah.
So like as you're doing it with someone, you're getting shot by other people.
Yeah. Is that true?
That's what it said in the game. Really? It was like a tip. It said.
Yeah, I never experienced that.
So So I found out, and with the different guns, you have different melee abilities, which basically they're just bashes other than that gun.
I hate how I had to switch to a different gun to do a normal melee.
I would just press down on my D-pad to go to my pistol and just pistol whip them a couple times.
If you downed them on the ground, you could run up and push X and stomp on their skulls.
What? That's awesome.
So to kind of finish the mechanics a little bit, all you're going to be doing in this game is shooting from cover to cover, picking up ammo.
Burn through ammo, man.
Yeah, you go through ammo. There is one mechanic in this game that I think is revolutionary and every game should have it, which I think is a pretty common opinion to have, which is the active reload.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're reloading your gun, a bar pops up with a little notch that slowly goes across the bar, and you have to click the reload button again within a certain window.
Yep.
And if you do this, you will reload faster.
Like almost instantly.
And if you do it in a perfect spot, you get extra damage to a certain amount of bullets.
Really?
That little white spot
Is
that
what you know what? I saw that right towards the end.
And then that ammo you just reloaded would blink for a little while on your screen up there.
Yeah.
And it would do super damage. But the more consecutive times you did it, the smaller that little white bar got.
So the better you got at it, the less the reward.
Sniper shots were...
Yeah, I would do it all day with snipers. And,
but it didn't matter. It was always a one shot.
Yeah, that didn't matter. But what I was doing was I got actually 3 achievements because if you do it enough times in a row consecutively, you get like part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this achievement.
It actually goes to part 5.
Does it? Okay, I only got to 3.
I did almost all of my long shot ammo. All reloading like quick.
Yeah.
Just popping up.
It was literally, and
because
if you do that, you can reload
a shit ton of ammo.
So much quicker. And if that sniper, it's a one shot bolt action basically. It's just like instant.
But what I didn't find out until the end was that 3-round burst.
Yeah.
Was the gun to use the whole time.
Really?
Needless to say, if you do not make the active reload, it takes you much longer to reload the weapon.
There's more of Marcus's phrases. Where if you miss the reload, oh damn!
Yeah. And then it takes 30 seconds to reload your gun.
Dude,
so
you can't hit, you can't switch guns.
Let's go ahead. The guns are a big part of this game, so let's go ahead and talk about them.
Okay.
The main one is the Lancer, I believe, is what it's called.
I have no clue what the names of these guns are.
I honestly don't know if that's what it's called, but I have heard that name so many times with Gears of War.
Yeah, no, the Lancer's the main gun. The Lancer's that chainsaw.
Yeah.
But they later come up with the Lancer Revolution, which is a straight like bayonet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the Lancer is the gun.
So you have your Lancer, which is just a fully automatic machine gun.
The main gun I use throughout this game.
With a chainsaw on the bottom. So instead of having a normal melee attack, when you go to melee with this weapon, Marcus will bring up his chainsaw, and if an enemy comes close to you while he has his chainsaw up, you will cut that enemy in half.
Yep, right down the middle.
Yep.
Pretty fun.
And so that's the Lancer. You have a couple different kind of pistols. There's just your two. There's just the normal pistol,
semi-automatic, and the revolver.
Yeah,
which is kind of like a Magnum. It does more damage.
Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has less bullets in the chamber, and it
reloads
slower.
Yeah. The fire rate's slower. Yeah.
Shotgun with the Gnasher is what it was called.
I never used the shotgun, so tell us.
Is the wretches when you get to those volatile ones? That's where I use those because you can hip shot them, and then just bounce, hip shot, bounce.
And not even just the
if you were close enough, even with the Theron guards.
Even with the Theron guards. Locust, it was really good for close quarters. Yeah. Whenever I was going inside buildings, I figured there'd be a lot more close combat. I was always switching between my sniper and my shotgun on that one.
Yeah.
And then there's another gun that...
So you kept your Lancer, and then you were switching that other weapon space back and forth?
Yeah, because you have you have 3 weapon slots, 2 heavy, 1 sidearm. And so I kept my Lancer on my right side, and then my left side was just switching between any gun, really, because there's a few others that I want to mention, too, that I liked.
The only other gun that I had experience with, which I should have looked him up, but I didn't, was the sniper rifle, because once I got the sniper rifle, I never switched weapons.
Well, it's a shame, because you should have got the torque bow.
The torque bow was
you know what? I had experience with the torque bow.
Sometimes you'd have to pop up, aim, and get shot.
So what is the torque bow? And then
those guys chose a bow that shoot an explosive arrow. And you'd pull it, and it would have a line that looped, like an arc, and then as you held it, it went straight.
Yes, so the longer you hold it, the straighter of a shot you have.
Also, the more damage you'd shoot. I don't know if it did more damage in itself when it hit, but if you didn't shoot it at full length, it would bounce off of enemies instead of stab into them. Oh. So then you don't even get the damage. It honestly sometimes would launch far enough to where it won't even...
I barely used the torque bow. I used it like when it first popped up.
Once they gave it to you, I would switch it between my sniper, torque bow, and shotgun, and that was my main.
I got over this.
Well, the torque bow, it was great for novelty because, well, not novelty, it was a useful weapon, but I felt my sniper, I was more consistent, and it was doing equal, if not more damage.
So I think the torque bow is God because I killed the boss with him. So.
Oh.
That's the only way I finished the boss, and I finished it within minutes because, honestly, within a minute.
No, that's exactly what I did with that 3-round burst.
Yeah.
Is like the torque bow was on. That's got to be where it's at because it's explosive. It's blah blah blah. No.
So,
but there was the boomer, which was all right.
Is that the one where it goes boom?
Yeah, but not the guy. His gun was also
it's called
the
boomer. Yeah. No, that's what I loved. I would. So that was my other gun.
The boomer is basically it looks like a grenade launcher,
it's
but
like
it
a
shoots
revolver
missiles.
RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Gatling grenade launcher.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's got like missile.
Yeah, but the projectiles shoot straight.
Yeah.
But the turret.
There's also mounted turrets in the game.
And those things just ate you up if you got in front of it at all.
Yeah.
But it would also just tear up anything that got in front of it.
And it seemed like every time there was a mounted turret, there was a little. They would throw 5 enemies at you.
Yeah,
just so you could
to use
blow
it.
them up.
Yeah, and that's what I loved because I always every time in games first one comes to mind is Halo. You'd walk past the turret and I really wish I could just mow down some people with this thing. And in some story modes in that they would give you it, but this one is almost every time.
We have to talk about it. If we're going to be doing this podcast long enough, how do you say the word? What is the thing that you
turret?
Okay, you said it right that time.
Turret?
You add an N in it sometimes.
You've always had a pet peeve about that.
I know.
No one ever catches it. But
I swear, I'm not the only one who will hear it if more than 3 people listen to us.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll get comments about it. But no. Turret.
I believe
I can say it right.
I believe towards the end of this tutorial, you find, or it might not be in the tutorial, it might be towards the beginning of this first area, you find your first cog tag, which are the collectibles in this game.
Yeah.
They are just gears, literally gears,
they're dog tags.
They're dog tags that look like gears.
They're off of dead military guys.
Yep. Alpha of Dead Gears is what they're called. Yeah. They're called gears.
Everything in this game is gears.
Yeah.
Millimores.
Yeah.
A big clock, that's...
Oh yeah, we should have talked about that, before E-Day.
They were the 2 factions you talked about were fighting each other.
We're warring, After this tutorial, we get into the courtyard, we get outside, and we meet up with Hoffman.
Yeah. Oh, real quick on those cogs, I want to mention that in the game, if you're running through it, every time you see a red gear symbol, which is the cog with the skull in it, look anywhere. It could be anywhere in that area. There's going to be one of those cogs. That's how you know those items are in that location.
Oh.
I didn't know that until the end. I got 26.
I didn't look how many I got. I got probably about half, but I found that out pretty late too. But it isn't right under it. It isn't right next to it. It's in that.
Because the rooms were that room only. You couldn't go anywhere. There wasn't anything else.
This is very much a corridor shooter of a game.
If you're talking about the cog tags, you could beat shit up.
Yeah.
And cog tags would pop out.
Yeah, there's crates and stuff you can break.
The chainsaw on your Lancer has the ability to break through wood and stuff.
But it has to be right in front of it.
Yeah.
So if there's a box that's lower, it won't do anything.
Will it not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can also beat it with your pistol if you have that. Any amount of damage done.
And do these cog tags do anything other than give you achievements?
I don't know.
They're just a collectible. It's for all you 100%ers out there.
No, actually, no. Gears has Easter eggs.
Like what?
Yeah, Gears does.
Gears has Easter eggs. It was in a different one I played, but I fought a giant chicken.
Yeah, I think that's in Gears 3.
What is it in these ones? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see any Easter eggs. I have no idea. Let us know.
So after this tutorial, you get out in the courtyard and you meet your general. I don't know what his title is. Leader.
Commander.
Oh, is it Kim? Are you talking about Kim?
I'm talking about Hoffman.
Hoffman. Do we meet Kim out there? Or do we... No, we meet all of them out there. They're all Hoffman, Kim, and his guy. And then it's Dom and Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Hoffman and them dip, and we go with those 2 to find Alpha Team.
Yeah, that's after we land with the helicopter, right?
Yeah.
So after we get out, what is our next mission? We talk to Hoffman, who's our leader. Him and Marcus don't get along very well because Marcus has a chip on his shoulder about authority.
And Hoffman had something to do with putting him in prison, I believe.
Yeah, okay. And Hoffman tasks us with...
Getting the resonator from Alpha Team, because Alpha Team is dark.
Right.
Gone.
Well, they want us to find Alpha Team, and then whatever happened to Alpha Team, help that out and get the resonator, because that's the main mission. But then
it was mainly take the resonator to where they wanted it, get it to work.
So, we load up on a helicopter, and we fly to...
Just some
area.
Honestly, I can't remember, but I know we walked a pretty good distance of fighting before we even got to Alpha Team.
It's the House of Sovereigns.
Oh, okay, so the House of Sovereigns is where we're headed to? That's where Alpha Team's at?
That's where they're last, known to be. Before they went dark, that's where we need to find them at, as far as we know.
So, get on a helicopter, and we are headed to the House of Sovereigns, which is just the first combat area.
Yeah.
Other than the tutorial.
Pretty much learn about what enemies are around.
Yep, learn about what enemies are going on. This is where you first run into boomers. This is where you run into...
Hammer of Dawn,
the Berserker, Cedars.
I think... Well, actually, Berserker's Act 2 and stuff.
Okay.
But, we're getting a little ahead. But Cedars and, what are they? The Locust. And I believe they throw wretches at us right here, too. In this area. But
emergence holes?
Emergence holes, which you can close with grenades.
Can you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did I just kill everything that came out of it?
Close them early with grenades?
Yeah, so if an emergence hole is it's a monster closet. Yeah, it's an exit for enemies.
Closet. Or an entrance.
Yeah, and so these things pop up, and you can throw a grenade in to close them right off the bat, or you can fight all the enemies that come out of them.
I did not know that.
That would have been a lot easier.
I would have just shot. I just shot everything that came out of those holes.
Yeah, towards the end of the game, I was just sitting above them, just shooting people as they came up.
Yep.
But when I was out of grenades, because a lot of these combat situations, you can just see where the emergent hole is, throw a grenade, and just be done with it.
The shit will shake, and then you can push Y, and it'll direct you exactly where that emergent hole is.
I forgot about that mechanic. Yeah, there's
that look. It'll tell you to look at shit.
Yeah, this has a look mechanic where if something special is going on in the world around you, if you hold Y, like Kyle was saying, you'll be able to look and see it.
If nothing special is going on, you just look at your best bud Dom or whoever's next to you.
Oh, actually, I was reading the wiki in the last 20 minutes that we've been recording. It's not Dom Hernandez, it's Dom Santiago.
Oh.
Kind of right my wrong here. One of them, anyways.
Well, we're there because we can't get any radio signal to Alpha.
Yeah.
And they know that these creatures called Cedars, what they do is they sit there and jam radio signals with their butts.
So they have these things that are basically aerial bombs for them. So they just shoot these larva things out.
Yep.
And those attack the helicopters. So they couldn't land a rescue helicopter, flight path thing, through there at the doors of the Sovereign, or the House of Sovereigns. So we need to take out the Cedars. We need to find the Resignator, and we needed to maybe save Alpha Team. We're basically all of our tasks we have at this exact moment until we get more.
Yeah, so we're the land team that has to go clear way so the air team can get in.
Yeah, basically.
And in the meantime, we're trying to find Alpha.
4 Cedars, maybe 5.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
So Cedars are these gigantic. All the Locusts are kind of bug aliens.
They are. They're bugs, basically. I think that's what they're like a hive mind type bug.
Yeah, and these Cedars. I didn't really even get a good look at the Cedar. They just look like they're kind of fuzzy looking with these
They got spider legs. They got a big crazy butt that sticks in the air, and then it looks like they're digging in the dirt.
Yeah. Imagine a child of the earth and an anteater kind of mixed together.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a really weird alligator mouth, and then you got an ant butt and 6 to 8 legs.
And the alligator mouth is what I'm talking about when they open it all the way.
Yeah, and that's when they do that, they also shoot those cedar things.
I never saw their mouth.
That's why they're called cedars, because they're shooting
I cruised up and just dead.
And actually,
I never saw their mouths.
I think those might be small reavers they're shooting out of their mouths. So, and later...
those little things that we shot at one point off a balcony.
Little air tentacles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what they shoot. That's what the cedar's shooting, is that little tentacle thing that looks like a little orb. I think it's a small reaver.
Is what they call the big ones.
Is it?
Is that what they're called?
I think they call those small ones reavers.
Yeah, whatever they're riding, the big tentacle things that they're riding,
those are revenants.
I think these are smaller ones.
Yeah.
I remember them saying revenants.
You know, I keep thinking Reavers, because isn't Reavers a Mass Effect thing? Anybody play Mass Effect?
I haven't played it.
Well, they'll also come with Locust called Cleavers.
What? What'd you just say? What'd you call me?
They'll have Locusts called Cleavers.
What's a cleaver?
It's those big boomers with a giant cleaver.
You know, yeah, okay, I only fought one of those, I think. Okay, quick question. What difficulty did you guys play on?
Casual.
I tried hardcore first.
It's hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Gears of War is a hard
Casual
game.
was hard itself.
Yeah.
They totally just...
When it came down to like your big fights that you had to do, nope. They put you in the dirt.
Yeah.
They put you in the dirt. So
speaking of big fights, a lot of these you're going to be using this new weapon that you find in this area, which is the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to be taking out these cedars that we're going around trying to kill.
And it's a satellite weapon system that like you point a laser at it, and straight from the sky comes a heat blast.
Yeah. Any big enemies that we face are basically going to be taken out with this thing, if we can. Or we'll find a way to take them out.
There's oftentimes, so it is a satellite weapon, I believe. It's a satellite array that like lines up an area and shoots a laser. Oftentimes there won't be satellites in the area, so you can't always use the Hammer of Dawn.
Or you won't be outside.
Did you guys not see that there's a time limit? When they say the Hammer of Dawn's online, it's like 5 minutes. It's online, you got to get all your stuff done.
Yeah, 5 to 10. Yeah.
And that's while the satellites are passing over. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll be inside, like Doty said. Does clouds affect it? Is there a point where it's ever cloudy?
I never said anything like that.
It was just more like...
just rooftops. I got it to go through a glass top.
Yeah, you have to go through a glass top at one point, but you have to destroy the whole glass roof before you can do that, so...
Act 4, baby.
Or most of it.
I think it's Act 4. That's really it leading up to Alpha Team. Before you find Alpha Team, you find a dead Alpha Team member.
They think call him Rojas.
Well,
they say is that Rojas.
They didn't know. It was too messed up to know. They just assumed that it might be Alpha Team.
So they find a dead cog or a dead gear.
Yep. Gear, I believe. They're called the Gears.
Who was a part of Alpha Team. And that kind of sets their suspicions in motion. They don't know if Alpha Team's alive or dead, so...
No, but they need to find that resonator because that's their main mission, their main goal.
Yeah. Oh, the resonators are supposed to map out the tunnels the Locust have in the Earth.
Did we know about that, though, yet?
That's what Hoffman says in the
Oh, does he? Okay, I didn't even know what we were getting the resonator
for. Yeah, Hoffman said that the Marcus was like, what's that for?
Yes.
So it's supposed to revolutionize the war.
Yeah, so the Locusts live in these tunnels under the ground, and like Kyle was saying, this resonator maps those tunnels.
Or it's supposed to, as what they tell us. I don't...
Do we fight anything else before we find Alpha Team?
I know there's this area that you fight that's like full of these guys.
Yeah,
but that's it.
This game is really just
room to room, area. There's
courtyard to
hallway
to hallway to boss
streets. There are a couple vehicle times, but like
Act 2 has a gimmick. Act 3, I don't remember if it has a gimmick or not.
Yeah, big gimmick.
Does it?
Yeah.
Act 4...
What the fuck's a gimmick?
Another huge gimmick.
A gimmick is like... So, the gimmick in Act 2 would be that it's nighttime.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about the thing.
Alright. Oh, and then like one of them's underground.
That would
one at the power plant.
That would be
the power plant was all that.
So let's...
there's lots of every act has a gimmick.
After... We find Alpha Team. Who's Alpha Team?
Wait, hold up. So...
we find Alpha Team.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You guys are saying we're finding Alpha Team, and I'm saying we don't find all of Alpha Team. We only find one member, and it's Cole.
Coltrane.
Okay, so wait.
We find him in the building fighting.
Who's the other guy, then?
We got Baird.
Baird's not...
Coltrane.
Yes. Okay, so you find Coltrane first.
Yep.
Okay.
And there was others, but they all die when we meet them. So.
Yeah. What is Coltrane doing?
Jeez. He is holding his own in a room, and he's just like gunslinging with his 2 pistols, like back and forth, pow, 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 just surviving, bro.
So they make Coltrane. Coltrane is an old football star from their world of functioning stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And everybody knew who he was. He was a superstar.
And it's not football. It's something else.
I would like to say
something weird.
Weird.
All the gears in this game are just muscle-clad men.
Yeah.
They are absolutely huge, but Coltrane is kind of in his own category.
Yeah.
He's like a 7-foot-tall African-American man who can just... Looks like he can pick up a bus and throw it at you.
And he's pretty famous for in that, like what he was saying, that sport.
Yeah, they tell you later his.
Well, they have. It looks like football. They got football helmets. They got pads, but it's called something else.
His nickname is Coltrane.
Coltrane. Oh, so that was that his football nickname? Mm-hmm. Coltrane.
Cole. I don't know if they tell you his actual last name.
His first name's actually Cole, Cole.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Yeah, like you said, I don't know his last name, but then they added train in there, like the Coltrane. Okay. So because I guess he's just like a train, just burrows through people, like you know.
So it seems like Coltrane's doing all right, just fending off enemies.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
Does he tell you where Baird's at? He's looking for Baird, or
he doesn't know. Yeah, he lost communication. So
you find Cole, and he cannot communicate with Alpha Team's leader.
Nope, but he knows where they're heading, and so he kind of gives us our heading, and we going through whatever building we're in.
Which we're heading to. We're already through the building at this point, right?
We're getting through it. We're in and out of buildings because it's just a destroyed city. So it's just like whatever buildings you can get to. I think we're trying to get to the House of Sovereign. So we're just going through broken buildings and that kind of stuff. So like they're saying, down streets, down alleyways, like whatever we can get through, we're getting through it.
And after we get Coltrane, like Doty was saying, he gives us our heading and we kind of head off in that direction. Guys, I wish there was more to talk about in between these.
It's really just shooting.
Yeah, it really is. What's the next story beat after we find Coltrane?
There's not really much after that other than fighting, and then we get to the House of Sovereigns, yeah. And there's we're just in there's a big firefight out front of it, because it's a big open courtyard with
there's a bunch of courtyard fighting in this game.
Stairs, big open arenas, like you say, it's a cover.
And to be honest, I really like the visuals, especially later when we get to the more like his house or the house and stuff like that. Yeah, I really like those visuals. Like even though it's an older game, it still had a really like some beauty to it, even though it's a destroyed city. Yeah, definitely.
Attention to detail.
Man, like I'm not sure I like the style of this game, though. You're right, it has great attention to detail, but it is just like a red and black kind of game.
It definitely gets better and more story to it as the games progress, for sure.
The art style of it still stays, but like you're saying, that blackish, like that really dimmed tone of it.
Yeah, the grungy art style is really it looks cel shaded a little bit.
It's the art style, bro. It's like you said, like you told me when you first booted it up. It's metal, and it is. It's dingy and grimy.
Yeah, when we first booted up this game, I sent Doty a text message, and I'm like, "This game looks awesome. It's metal as fuck." So at this point, I think we're at the House of Sovereigns.
Yeah, there's just a giant firefight right in front of it, and we have to get through there because we assume there's one of our guys in there, a couple of them. Like, why else would they be trying to get in there?
Coltrane, when we find him, he tells us that the rest of Alpha Team is actually in the Tomb of Unknowns, and that's where we're headed next. Okay. We never really talked about it. Delta Team is made up of 3 people. 3 main people, and then an unknown gear. Of course, you have Marcus Fenix, you have Dom Santiago, and then you have the leader of Delta Team, whose name is Kim.
Yep.
And he's been with us this whole time.
That's his last name. He's
like Lieutenant Kim or something.
So I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Chinese or something of that.
But everybody just calls him Kim.
Yeah.
And just know that going into this area. Alpha Team is headed towards the Tomb of Unknowns. And like we were saying earlier, another corridor, another courtyard of shooting people. And once we get to the Tomb of the Unknowns, this is where we meet up with the rest of Alpha Team.
Yeah, we meet up with them in the courtyard of the Tomb of Unknowns. Yeah. And they all run out, and then we start fighting. And this one guy pops up. He looks pretty badass. Do anyone knows his name? Know his name? Yeah, General Ram.
Dude.
General Ram. You don't...
With Locust. So by the way he looks, the way he acts, you know he's the boss and he's in charge.
Just to clear that up a little bit, he's a badass enemy dude.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Because all the people in this game look badass. You could have said that, and I would just imagine like another gear showing up. You know
what I mean? Boss, not badass. Oh, did you? I didn't say badass. I said boss, dude.
Oh, I heard badass.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I mean, just the first thing I saw when I saw him walking up like he did, it was like, all right, it's a boss.
You know, it didn't connect with me until like Act 3 or 4 that he was the boss, because he looks just like any other Locust.
And at this very moment we're seeing him, we hear a voice. Is the voice of what we can only assume is the queen of the Locust Hunt.
The Locust Queen.
And this is kind of the moment. They might have hinted at it earlier, but this is where I started to understand that the Locusts were kind of a hive mind.
Yeah, I think this is where you're supposed to be kind of making that connection.
Each other little minions and stuff.
Yeah, that they're all just like doing what this ultimate being wants, and they're just soldiers, foot soldiers, not meant to die.
So why are we going into the Tomb of Unknowns? Why are we going through this area?
We were just there to find the Resignator mainly.
And Barrett has the Resignator, so we found Bear. So what do we do next?
So as we're cruising on, where they're like, dude, it goes into a cutscene.
Yeah.
Where Ram shows up, you hear the voice. He comes up, and Kim is somewhat separated from all of us.
Yeah, like Kim gets blocked off somehow.
I think it's like something collapses.
Well, we're in between Locusts. Like he's in another part where and there's Locusts in between us.
Because they do split our teams up a lot.
Yeah.
They split us up in twos, and they go separate ways, and that's where you can choose to pass.
Yeah. There's a couple places in this game where you can choose left or right, and it splits your 4-man team into 2.
During this cutscene, that unknown cog gets shot in the face.
Right.
Dies, and that Ram comes up, grabs Kim, and pulls out some crazy assassin's dagger.
And during this cutscene, man, it was the most anticlimactic shit ever. Because, okay, so you see Ram, and he's walking in slow motion up to Kim, right?
Yep.
And I just feel like Marcus saw Ram like 100 feet back, and he had plenty of time to go run over there and save Kim.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. I think there was Locust or some sort of
something in between him, keeping him from going to go
because he even mentioned
Marcus is hopping over barricades in this game left and right. He can't go run over there.
No, you're right. Yeah,
it's part of it, but that's what makes Marcus the squad leader.
Marcus could see Kim. So turn and shoot your gun.
Yeah, in the cutscene, when they're doing it, he's acting like it's like super quick. Like it's not
I know
that he walks up there, but he's like, go, get out of here.
Some of the shit in this game super cheesy.
2006.
Yeah,
this was 2006. Man.
Dude,
it was like the early 2000s
gaming, bro.
Early 2000s was.
And I bet back in the 2006, this was prime time. Like
it was. That's why everyone loves the game still, and that's why they've progressed so well because they have such a following.
It really is just murder, blood, and monsters and hero and saving stuff.
So Kim's dead. Now,
he's dead.
If you guys didn't catch that.
And also the unknown gear is dead too.
That one, yeah, he did mention that too. So.
Baird, Coltrane, Dom, and
Marcus.
Yep.
And actually, at this point, this is where we retreat into the tomb.
Yeah, right. At this same moment, we're like Kim was telling us, get out of here. We get the hell out of there. And we close the doors, and just magically we're barricaded in. They can't get into us. Like we don't even worry about it. Yep. Which I thought was kind of weird, but fair.
So we're locked in the tomb, and we get radio contact from, what was her name, Kyle?
Anaya.
So we talk to Anaya, and she says best route of action
is the back.
Is to go out the back.
Yeah. Wait, that's later. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
She tells you to make it out the back, and it's in this moment that was it Anaya who promotes Marcus?
No, it's Hoffman.
Hoffman?
It's Hoffman who gets on.
So Hoffman comes over the radio, and actually, since Kim was Delta Team's leader and he's now dead, Hoffman promotes Marcus to Delta Team leader.
Sergeant is what they call him, because he was Private Marcus. Now he's Sergeant.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And that's the end of Act 1.
Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure.
No, we meet the Berserker and get to the back, and then that's the end of it. Back.
Right.
Oh, the back of the tombs.
That's who kills the unknown gears. So
Jules got shot in the face. Unknown gear was just there. Wasn't he trapped by the Berserker?
Because there was another unknown gear with Baird too. And when Baird and an unknown gear come out, and then we have an unknown gear.
So tell us about this Berserker that comes up.
Oh my gosh, we're talking about the most anxiety I've had in a video game.
Really?
Oh, dude, I pull up, and I wasn't expecting it at all, and I see this thing, and it just tears apart.
All right, let's give our listeners an idea of what they need to be scared about.
Yeah.
It's this giant, like it says, Berserker. He's just a giant brooding,
covered in bone.
Is it bone?
That's what I assume. It looks like it's got an outer shell of hard bone.
He's got warts all over him. He looks like a big old, I would describe it as like a pit bull / face kind of looking thing with a really cut off nose. And he can't see you. He can only hear and smell you.
Yeah.
And so you can sneak around him, but normal weapons will not work against him. You can fire them all you want,
Grenades,
you won't
boomers,
do anything.
Nothing.
You have to find alternate means.
Just a little of a visual tie-in. Whoever has played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, he looks like a super mutant.
Yeah. Probably like 2 feet taller, but yeah,
like a green super mutant.
Yeah.
Green-blue super mutant.
Yeah. Just brooding, giant.
Blasts through pillars, obstacles, breaks everything in its
He's got like a dog collar around because they treat him like he's a dog. He's supposed to sniff you out, hunt you down, kind of like.
Yeah, and it kills it.
This is the first time that I believe the Hammer of Dawn has a time limit on it.
Yeah, the Cedars I don't think had time limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gave me anxiety.
So Anaya tells you, hey, satellite coverage only lasts for 5 minutes. You need to use the Hammer of Dawn to take out this berserker and really just get out of the tomb.
Well, you have to lead him out of the tomb, and you have to. I used him to smash doors.
That's only
later, isn't it?
No, that's right now.
No, that's it. You use him to smash doors and get out of the tomb and outside.
You do this later too, though.
Oh yeah, every time you meet them, you have to do something.
So every okay. So yeah, and you get out the back of this building.
Yeah, you go through like 4 doors,
and it took 2 times with the Hammer of Dawn to kill that thing.
Yeah, you have to keep keep puppy dogging it, like let it dodge, and then let it attack you, dodge, hit the door, go through the door. But
you could also scoot right past the guy.
Yeah, no,
you could be right there, and you could jump to the side right there and just run.
Yeah,
and he'd scoot past you.
He will,
but if he caught you, you were done.
He'll do a charge, and if you dodge, he can still turn a little bit. So you better dodge right, because if you don't dodge hard enough right or left, he'll turn and grab you still. So, or if you dodge too early, he'll like revert his freaking direction right at you. It just sucks. Sometimes, because I would get snagged by him a lot. But that's because I had to do a lot of dodging because I wouldn't figure out what I needed to do. So I was just dodge.
Yes.
What do I need to do? Dodge.
And then it's like some doors you can smash.
Yeah. This first encounter was pretty
straightforward. But
this first encounter, like Kyle was saying, it gave me a lot of anxiety. But once
you're around, you can't see him most of the
time. Once you realize what these guys are, you can kind of just dodge out of their way. And
the first guy gave me
they're a lot less scary the more you fight them.
I can't wait for you guys to play The Last of Us. These type of scares are like left.
I'm never playing it.
You have to.
No,
it's great. You must.
Anyway, so you lead this motherfucker outside and you shoot him with the Hammer of Dawn twice, like Kyle was saying.
Yeah, I did too. He actually because. To mention the mechanics of the game, they're a little glitchy sometimes. These bigger guys will get caught on just air, and they'll just stand there. And this was one of those fortunate occasions for me because he was really messing me up. I couldn't get a good spot to hit him without him running at me. So it gave me that chance to finally just bang. For you? Yeah, and I hit him twice.
I didn't have any trouble hitting with the Hammer Dawn.
He just kept rushing me, and I was just too close. I could never get far enough away, so I had enough time to
pull it out.
And do it. So,
and this Now this is the end of Act 1.
Yeah, after you kill the Berserker, I think it opens a pathway, and then it's
And this is actually where Anaya promotes you to Delta Team Leader, and this is where they're like, alright, we need to go... Actually, it ends the act, and then you get story in the beginning of Act 2.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, too, when we, before we met Rom, we were actually supposed to get picked up by helicopters in that, courtyard, and grab Baird and get the hell out of there. But then the Cedars, some other Cedars, unknown Cedars, launched these seeds at them, which we were calling Reavers or something like that. The baby Reavers, or I don't...
We'll just call them Reavers.
Yeah. Blew them up. And blew them all up. So that's when... And then they all came out of the woodworks. They're just everywhere all of a sudden. So that's what kind of kicked things off.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't just get a helicopter ride to the next location we're about to go to.
There's too much stuff.
Yeah, we can't get any helicopters.
So we either have to go by foot or find a vehicle. This next chapter is actually the on-foot section before the vehicle.
The whole chapter is part of it.
Yeah, you're right. And so that's end of Act 1.
Yep.
And we are headed right into the beginning of Act 2, which is titled Nightfall, because it's all at night.
What?
And no way. This fucking blows,
dude. I guess it's super dangerous at night there.
It's not quite night yet, so let's not...
Okay.
It's still a little light.
Getting dark.
It's still a little light.
I don't think we might have said it. I just want to say it for solidarity that the first chapter was Ashes.
I don't think we mentioned it, but yeah.
I thought you said it a couple times.
I said it to you later.
Well, we said it now, so it doesn't matter. Chapter 2, Nightfall. And like Doty was saying earlier, the beginning of Nightfall, it doesn't actually start at dark. It's like dusk getting dark.
Night.
Yep.
And I don't know how this comes about. We are headed to a stranded camp.
Which are normal humans that have survived the Locust invasion and have set up, like, camps in destroyed cities all over the place.
Yep. Like,
Which now is a good time to mention that this is not on Emergence Day. Come to find out, this is 14 years after Emergence Day. So take that as you will, and we'll move on.
So actually, like you're saying, you don't know how it comes about, but Dom mentions it to us that he has a guy that owes him a favor in the Stranded, and then they kind of breeze by who the Stranded are, but like Tanner was saying, they're people that survive.
I didn't say it, Kyle said it.
Oh, my bad. Kyle. I'm getting the people mixed up in this room.
We look like...
It's too many. There used to be 2, and now there's 3. I don't know.
We don't, for everybody who doesn't know.
He's just as handsome as me.
Yeah, same skin, everything.
So, I like Doty, whatever. The skin is the first thing you bring up, Doty, huh?
I'm
sorry.
Brother, anyway.
Hey,
we are trying to head to the Stranded camp.
And Dom mentions that, I think Dom knows that the guy who owes him a favor has a vehicle.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what.
And we need a vehicle because we need to get across. We're headed to the mines.
Yeah.
I remember it was 10 kilometers away.
Yeah, to get to the mines, to use the resonator to map out the mine.
Yeah, it's a factory, and then they mined the, what was it called? The
Emulsion?
Yeah, emulsion. And so, yeah, we're going to use their lift, get down there, shoot that shit off.
Yeah, but that's all in Act 3, 4.
3, yeah.
Yeah. On the way to the stranded post, really the only obstacle is crossing a river, I think, is the main one.
So far, yeah. Other than just
Of course,
Locust.
there's enemies, there's locusts everywhere.
Well, let's talk about the guns. Like,
We already talked about the gun.
no. Eric liked the Lancer.
That's true.
I hated it. The more you shot it, the more inaccurate it got.
What'd you use then?
The 3-round burst gun.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Throughout the entire game?
It took 2, and they were done. If you hit them with all 3 bullets.
Didn't even know that was a gun, because I never...
It was their guns. It was the Locust guns. And I mean
it.
Yeah, it was... Once I realized that, I put that... And it held, like, 140 more bullets.
And that was probably more practical with the melee, too.
But that was... And, like, it was the...
Yeah.
It was just a hit. And, you could hit the wretches and they die once.
I will always stand up for fully auto assault rifles. I cannot do burst. I hate burst. I can never do burst. If they give me a burst or a pistol, I'll probably choose the pistol, but only if the pistol...
The pistol didn't do that.
Oh, yeah, the pistol's good.
I like that little one.
Yeah.
I use the revolver. I usually rocked around with the sniper and the... What do you call it?
The Lancer?
Lancer, yeah.
So.
And that gun is the iconic cog gun.
It goes through every game. If you see a gear with a gun in anything, they have the Lancer.
Well, I think Lancer is standard issue COG assault rifle.
Is it? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, actually talking about the Lancer, we already talked about it a little bit, but the chainsaw on the bottom has to use gas, right? Or what is it running off of?
Gas. Because it makes smoke. When it turns on, it's all...
Okay, so maybe this emulsion burns better or something,
You could say that the combustion from your bullets builds up into a tank that you use to get a quick burst.
There's some science bullshit.
I mean, that's sound science right there. Just saying.
That way
that
you can make it work. You can make it work.
Scientists, make it happen.
I don't think it would happen, though. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Mechanics.
It seems like...
I know you know.
Maybe that's why Marcus is so... That's why Marcus is so ripped, is because the Lancer has like a 30-gallon tank in it. You're carrying around 30 gallons of gas so you can use the chainsaw.
They're all ripped just so they can use the Lancer. The only reason.
That is what the Apex human on steroids looks like.
Dope.
All of them. Their whole military. Full of steroid guys.
So, our main goal is to get across this river right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing special about it. The one special thing is, to cross the river, you have to get on this platform that has a wheel?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, a wheel.
A valve.
Yeah.
It looks like a valve.
Thing.
Yeah, a big turn thing.
Basically, it's a cog.
Yeah.
Push A a bunch of
And
times.
these come back in the later levels too. You have to
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you gotta do with it.
open doors and stuff.
Yeah, but they also have enemies shooting at you while you're doing this. Unless you shot them all. I just didn't even mess with them.
Yeah, I found if you just tap the button, no one will hit you or nothing.
Yeah, they might hit you once or twice, but like nothing to damage you completely.
Yeah, and when you get across this river,
I really enjoyed killing people.
that's why you're such a God of War fan.
You did so much of it though too, so it's like why not just skip this area? Is what I thought.
There were some times where I did skip.
Let me know if I'm being stereotypical. Let me know if I'm stereotyping you here, but you like games where the main protagonist is just like as muscly as you can get, just ripping his way through the world.
Yeah. I used to play Dragon Age.
And you just get
him. I never played.
No, it was just a role-playing game.
Yeah.
And you could create your character. You spend 30 minutes creating your freaking character.
Yeah. Oh, big old guy.
I got a staff! Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Look at me now.
Yeah, it's true. So, get across the river and nighttime falls.
Yeah, immediately, and then it goes into a cutscene where you see all these things just fly out of every like little black orifice, just surrounding the whole. It looks like bats.
Swarm,
if you've ever seen bats come out of caves,
they make the same noise, don't they?
Yeah. They make like the screeching noise.
If you've ever seen the movie The Croods, there's these things in there that straight up, they're birds that devour an elephant.
Alright,
it's the same thing.
Who's a dad in this room?
I've seen it. I'm not a dad, and I've seen it. I like animation.
I retract that insult then. And yeah, it puts you into this cutscene where you're also all these bat-like creatures come out, and you're walking up onto this guard booth for this stranded town you're headed to.
Yeah, they're called the Stranded, so it's just an outpost for the Stranded.
Yeah.
There's just one of their little lookouts. They're saying, hey, watch out, the Krill are out. And that's what these guys are called. They're called Krill. I don't know why they named them that.
These bat people these bats are called Krill.
Yeah, these little, not
bat
the people
creatures.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
The things that are about to attack everything at night are Krill.
Yeah.
And they're just black, winged, beady-eyed looking things. That's all you can really make out when you see them.
And in this guard post, these guys are freaking out because they say, don't step into the light.
Out of the light.
Out of the light. Don't step out of the light. And it would just so happen that in their guard check at this moment, what happens?
The light bulb went out. They were completely devoured into tiny little pieces.
Tiny little pieces.
Like just completely gone.
Air piranhas. These things are air piranhas.
Dude, if you watch Croods, that's what those things look like.
Oh.
They're little
Mr. Non-Dad over here doesn't know what it is.
It's just going over my head. But, so it turns out these Krill will attack anything that's in the dark.
At all.
It is awful.
It is awful.
It sucks. This whole place.
You're just like barely in the dark.
Yeah, I didn't even think I was in the dark, and I got attacked a couple times.
Awful.
Yeah, it's not even like the dark. It's like the dim dark.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's dim light, not the dark.
I would be killing and then forget.
From this point on, if you step out of any source of light, these creatures will come out of the air and attack you and kill you nearly instantly.
Yeah. And that was your warning, and then if you step out, you just get murdered.
You couldn't do anything about it, you just died.
Was I the only one who didn't? Like, this warning just went over their heads, and I stepped out of the light and ended up dying.
Me. Instantly. I'm like...
It's like, what is going on?
I didn't even think about it, and then I died the first time. I'm like, shit, this is going to be the whole game from here on out, isn't it? And I was like, damn it.
Yeah, I thought, how long is this going to last?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Luckily, it's only for one act, guys. Muscle through it.
So, on the way, after this outpost, on the way to the stranded little village, there's really not too much trouble with the light. There's plenty of light.
I mean, you're right there after those guys get attacked. You walk in and you meet.
Yeah, you're right. It's just like a little bit of a main street.
Yeah, it's like a jaunt.
Yeah.
Franklin?
Is it Franklin? That's
what they say is Franklin?
Yeah.
Well, they have to go find Franklin. They meet some guard guy.
Yeah, I mean, you make your way through
semantics.
Stranded,
And so Dom talks to Franklin, who is his friend who owes him a favor, and says, hey, man, no, you got a car. We need that car.
Yeah.
And Franklin's like, fuck off, dude. And Dom says, I'm calling in a favor. Now.
Changes him completely. He's like, alright.
Fine. But the homies are staying here.
Dom and Franklin, they seem to like, they don't technically like each other. They're only there because
they got things out of each other.
Yeah, they don't get along,
yeah.
but they work well together.
Yeah. So Dom's like, Franklin is like, oh, fine, fuck. But I don't owe you anything after this.
And you gotta leave 2 of your guys here. And the truck's at a gas station. And there's krill the whole way there.
And it's out of gas.
That too.
So feel that face.
Luckily, it's at a gas station. But
Yeah,
so we leave 2 of our guys here. We leave Braid and Coltrane, right?
Baird and
Baird.
Yeah.
Braid, yeah.
Baird.
Yeah.
Baird and
I've heard
Coltrane.
Braid and Bear come out of your mouth so far. So
I know.
He's
Yeah.
multiple names.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in my brain, man. And I'm not. You should not hold me.
Responsibility.
Yeah. Do not hold me accountable for the words that come out of my mouth.
I will anyway. But.
Yeah, whatever.
Tanner
TM.
So
let's put that on a quote, just a fancy quote.
And this leads to one of like, okay, so we were bitching about how this game is just corridors and courtyards filled with people to shoot. Now it is corridors and courtyards filled with people to shoot, and it's dark. So you can only stand in certain areas.
Well, so they have propane tanks everywhere that you can shoot, and they create a large thing of light.
How long did it take you to figure this out? It took
Not
me
long.
First,
Not very long.
They mentioned it.
It said why to look.
I'll bring it
And
up.
that pops up.
No, you're
Oh,
right.
really?
You're right. The propane tanks didn't take me long at all to...
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got hidden, but...
So does anybody have anything to say about this area, like right now? Because I have something that it might be a spoiler of this area a little bit.
Other than I'd completely forget.
About walking into the dark.
I'd forget to blow up a propane tank, and I'd walk in the dark and die.
Yeah.
That would piss me off. And you're like almost to the next checkpoint, and you're
I get all excited because I murdered everybody.
Yeah, dead.
Oh, this game checkpoint's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good checkpoint. I mean, somewhat you got to get through decent areas.
I guess I was just unlucky.
Yeah.
Like I never saved in this game. I just shut off my Xbox and started it back up.
I don't think you can.
You can't
I
save.
think
It's all.
I think
Oh, really?
off of checkpoints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You start back wherever.
You just quit.
Didn't bug me. So, anyways, going throughout this area, like we were saying, we're shooting propane tanks to produce light because once you shoot a propane tank, apparently it produces infinite light for an infinite amount of time.
They also mention that you're being a dickhead for blowing up all of their source of like gas and stuff.
Really?
And you're burning up their whole town that they live in.
Oh,
yeah, they mention it, and even the gas guy.
Yeah, the guy
at the
that
gas
you
station
meet
is
will
like, you
mention
blew up the whole neighborhood.
Oh, I do.
Lit the whole neighborhood on fire and brought all these locusts in here.
So, this area is nothing spectacular, except for there is this one part where you come out of a building that you just shot a bunch of bitches in, and you come out and there is a single lamp with a car.
Yep.
And there is a sniper and a turret that are both shooting at you.
Yep.
Do you guys remember this area?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so that's the first area I died to like a shit ton of times because I forgot.
So you're tasked with taking out the turret and taking out the sniper, and there's a gimmick right here.
Yeah.
That took me about it took me about 10 minutes to like give up and have to look up what was going on in this area because I did not understand that this car that is under this lampshade, you can push it. Oh, this one cover. All the other cars.
You didn't put that together?
No, it's because you push Y to look, and then it says Y to look, and it said pushable car at the bottom of my screen. And so and I'm like, man, how do you push it? And then I pushed A, and then you can push X.
See, I completely missed that, so I spent about 10 minutes just running into the darkness trying to find a way.
Run as fast as you can to the light.
Yeah.
I had to do a little thought process, but I came to the conclusion that you had to push the car because I was looking around. I'm like, because I was like, I had already encountered a bunch of like propane tanks and little nooks and crannies and stuff.
And
there's got to be one. I'm like,
there was nothing.
Seeing it. Yeah, so I'm like, all right. The only source of light in this area right now is that lamp and this car. This car's got to move because it's the only car
that's not up against something
that had wheels that was burnt. If you look at every other car, they don't have four wheels. That's very
observant, dude.
And I was like, and it's perfectly aligned to go straight down a hill. Yeah. And I'm like,
no, that's the second car.
I have to push the car.
That's the second car.
The second car goes down the hill, but the first car is right there, and you push it straight towards the turret.
Yeah. The first car you're hiding behind.
Is it? I thought it was vice versa.
No.
I thought it was vice versa. No. Well, I didn't have any trouble with that one either. So either way, I found these cars out pretty easily.
I did not, and I sat here for 10 minutes
just dying.
I fucking hate this game. I'm quitting. Fuck this podcast. I quit. I'm just going to move to Argentina. Enjoying the communist revolution.
Is that where it's happening?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Argentina is where all the Nazis went.
We're just trying to figure that out, but
I'm not going to Argentina to group up with the Nazis. It's fuck Nazis.
Shoot.
Yeah, I got like a little clan. I could start, man.
Yeah, your own. Yeah.
So after you push this car, you take out this turret. Like Doty mentioned earlier, you kind of just go down this alleyway, go down the street until you run into another car that you push down a hill.
Yeah, and then eventually you get to this street that all the lights are turned off, and you don't see any way possible past it other than a spotlight. And I really enjoyed this one because it was kind of neat just having to do the spotlight, and after you work your way up to it, you man it, and then you have to let Dom navigate his way all the way to the other end to turn on the lights, and you have to keep the spotlight on him the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought that was just really cool and fun.
I thought this was interesting because if I was the game developer, I would have switched to this.
Yeah.
Right? Had Dom go up to the top.
Yeah, and just have the light constantly on you as you're moving.
No, not even
and
that.
You'd have to follow it.
You'd have to follow the spotlight. Okay. He would move it from cover to cover.
Stop. You'd have to stop. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool too.
The dexterity movement on those guys are not very good.
Actually, this is a good time to... I'm sorry.
No,
this is a good time to... You can command your companions around as the leader of Delta.
Yep.
And
I think only when all four of them are around.
Yeah.
No,
maybe.
At any moment.
I tried it. I pushed LB, and
so
it just
you have to
showed
be
Dom.
in gunfight, and you have to be looking right at the enemy, and then it allows you to cease fire or attack or group up, and it always gives you the group up.
Tying it back to the spotlight, it would have been interesting if you were the one on the ground and you had to tell Dom, hey, move
spotlight here.
Yeah, time to move the spotlight. And then you would move, and then there would be a shootout, and then you would move the spotlight.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But it's interesting the way it is. It's just not as difficult, I would imagine.
No, I wish they would have added a little more difficulty. He had to get into a gunfight while he was doing it, so you had to keep on moving with him. And if you got out because I know you can be out in the darkness for a split second.
Yeah, because I was able to run some distance.
There were some points where you had to kind of jump through the dark real quick.
Yeah,
because if you held it, you'd sprint.
The krill wouldn't hit you immediately.
Yeah,
but if you're out there, you'd start to hear him, and then you'd be dead.
Yeah.
So
after you get Dom through this, street with the spotlight, he turns on the lights for you. They're
the lights, man.
And it's kind of weird. It's like you're in Chinatown. All these kind of paper lanterns.
Yeah,
light up.
Colorful paper lanterns.
Yeah, and
then more guys show up in here.
You fight a berserker here, don't you?
I don't remember fighting a berserker.
You only fight 2. And the other one is so weird.
I don't know.
3.
There's
you're right. This is just a normal gunfight, right? I think that's the last major thing you do before you get to the gas station.
Yeah, after this point, it's pretty...
Then you defend. Right, that's at the...
Well, yeah, right. At this point, it's lights the way most of the way, and then there's fire areas. You kind of have to blow up a few more propane tanks, and then you get to the gas station. And who are you greeted by?
Some dickhead.
This cranky old fucking man. I don't know his name.
Some dude.
I don't remember if he...
I don't think he got a name, but he came with you.
Yeah,
he left with you because he's like, you blew up my gas station, dude.
I guess I'm going with you. Did we leave him in the stranded town?
Yeah,
probably. Maybe.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
No, you get to the gas station, and this old man is bitching at you, like we were mentioning earlier, for blowing up all their propane tanks. He's kind of just a crotchety old man. He said, I didn't even think you guys were going to make it, so I didn't even fill up the truck.
Yep.
Which, from this point on, I think we're going to call it an APC, all-purpose carrier.
Yeah. Or the junker, like they call it.
Yeah, we can do junker. We'll call it the junker.
Which I don't know why, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I expected a pickup truck.
It's a badass truck.
I expected a pickup truck when they said junker.
Yeah. For them, it's probably a junker because they probably have some badass future cars.
It's probably a junker because...
It's all parts.
Well, it's 14 years after Emergence Day, so it's not a make and model of a car, you know. While you're at the gas station, you have to fill up the car with gas. During this, is it while you're filling up the car with gas?
You fill it up, and then while it's filling up, the guys attack.
And
I think this is the first time you can get a sniper.
No, you can get a sniper way before that.
Oh, really?
Like at the beginning of Nightfall.
I'm goofing then.
I definitely had one before we went across the river.
Yeah, I did too.
And so you're tasked with defending the gas station while that junker fills up with gas.
Yeah.
And this is standard, shoot the enemies.
And you get one of the boomers, or what are they called?
Boomers.
Are they called boomers?
Those big guys are called boomers. The guns are boomers.
Oh, really? Ooh. Yeah. I love
that stuff.
That sound effect.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, just the voice. And
then you get shot in the face.
Yeah. And every time, once I get that gun, I'd be like, every time I'd use it, I'd be in my room. I was hoping Phoenix would do it or something like that, you know.
And so, once you're done with the boomers and done defending, once the junker is done filling up with gas, you're able to get in it and drive off.
Yeah.
And this kind of leads to... This is the only vehicle section in the game, is it not? Is there two? Am I tripping?
No. You just leave in another one. It doesn't let you drive.
Yeah, this is the only driving
This one was crazy because of the UV light.
It's actually called a UV cannon.
Yeah, so what you're doing...
You are driving this junker back through the city, back to the stranded town to pick up your team. And during this time... You have to use a UV cannon, which is on top of the junker, to shoot krill out of the air.
And drive at the same time.
No, you have to stop driving to use the power for the light.
Yeah,
and
so the junker only has enough power to run the...
One or the other.
Yeah. And, did you guys have any trouble with this area?
Not really? Because
hold on. Oh. I think we're about to say the exact same thing.
All right, you good? Yeah.
Turns out if you just go as fast as you can,
damn straight,
you don't have to fight anything.
You don't have to fight shit,
except for on the one roundabout.
Yeah, because you come back around and then you hit them. Because literally, it's like the horde's just following you. So if you have to do a roundabout where you get hit by that horde just a wee bit, and then you keep going. You just get
I was so good at just blasting them in clusters that I never got touched.
I bet it was fun.
He'd be like, they're coming, and I'd stop and be like, boom.
Every time I tried to do it,
I bet that was way more fun than what we did.
I hated that.
It was awful. It was awful. If I knew I could just drive straight there, I would have drove straight fucking through it.
I agree. I thought it was awful.
But that's how you were supposed to do it.
That was hard for me to hit them, though. So I was just like, it was fun to see them just fry immediately.
You know what I did? Hear them in their clusters. It took me a few times to get through.
If they get close enough, their cluster expands enough to where the beam only hits half of them. So if you didn't hit them in time,
right away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you didn't hit them in time, so I wouldn't hit them in time. So they just swarmed me. So I just got the hell out of there, and then I'd never stopped.
The few times I attempted to do it for real, I would stop and I would just spin my cannon in a circle. But they hurt. The krill hurt.
Yeah,
they damage, bro. They damage. They'll kill you.
Yeah.
So after you make it through this kind of long driving area, we're back in the stranded village.
Yeah, and what do we see?
It's a huge locust onslaught.
Yeah, it is. There's they're trying to hold down their barricades, and there's just a bunch of what do we call them? The holes that appear.
Emergence holes. That's what they were called.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A bunch of emergence holes have appeared outside of it. So the old man that's with us, he's like, better get in there and help.
At one point, he's like, I should have stayed at the gas station.
Crotchety old man.
Yeah, so I love that comedy.
You rush in to help these guys, and this wasn't terribly hard, I don't think. I had a bunch of grenades, and I threw them in all the emergence holes. I maybe fought 5 enemies.
It would have been a lot easier if you knew how to destroy emergent holes, but I fought every single enemy. It wasn't hard either way. It was just a lot more fighting. And
I could blast it. Once I got into a roll, I get in a groove, dude. I was just
and this is where I actually learned I got all those achievements with the sniper, where you're hitting the super perfects for the reloads.
Nice.
I just hit those guys every time, just one shots, one reload.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
You're getting this fluid thing where it's all pew, reload, pew,
only thing that's
and then they're all dead.
That's what's great about this active reload I love so much, because you do get in this groove when you are behind a barrier that you feel confident behind. You can just pop out, shoot, and reload, and it becomes this motion in your hand. You get used to the timing where you can hit those active reloads pretty reliably.
Yeah, it definitely, since I played this game pretty consistent when I was playing it, I went back to a different game where you use the right bumper to do things and instead of reload.
Oh, yeah.
And it messed me up, man.
Did it?
Just for like a couple minutes. I was like, I gotta get in the groove of other games again.
But, so we got them, got Baird and Cole, and headed to the factory.
Yeah, this big battle is actually kind of the culmination of Act 2. And we are headed to Act 3, which is the factory.
Yeah, you jump back in your truck and you
head out. The Emulsion Factory.
The Emulsion Factory.
So, as we're...
Act 3, Belly of the Beast. Go ahead.
As you pull up, Anaya says that these wretches here are extremely volatile.
Yep.
And me, not being the smartest in words, I'm like, they're fucking badder than the other guys.
Yeah. And these guys are badass.
And then they screamed and their mouths glowed.
But, and then I want to mention something. Cole's not that smart either, and he asked what did he ask? You
hold on. You can be smart in other ways. Vocabulary does not.
I know. I agree. I'm not smart in vocabulary. You'll probably come to realize that the way I talk. But
vocabulary does not.
They mentioned the word lambent, and I didn't really know what this word means. Cole didn't either, and he asked it, and the simplest term they say, they glow.
Yeah, I think lambent is similar to iridescent.
Yeah, or
glow in the dark.
Yeah, which they are. And what they mentioned, the reason why they are lambent is because of the emulsion that's in the ground. They've been exposed to it so much for so long that they have become radioactive, or basically...
That's exactly what I thought. They were radioactive.
Yeah, or something like a form of that. Or,
but since it's weird...
Or lambent, as we find out.
And this emulsion, this thing that wars have been fought over for, I think, like 79 years or something.
Can't swim in it.
No, you can't swim in it, turns out. It's actually... I think it's a fuel source.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like oil. An acidic fuel source almost, or something.
You know,
corrosive.
What just came to my mind, it's... Oh, I was gonna say iridium.
Yeah.
In Borderlands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fuel source that is super valuable.
Yeah, alien fuel source.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we can turn any alien substance into a fuel source for us.
Profit, baby.
Yeah, and profit is king.
Humans.
So we are headed down. We have intelligence from somewhere that. In this emulsion factory, there is a way into the Locust tunnels below the city.
That's where they're mining.
Yeah, it's the mine factory.
That's where the Locust straight go, because that's why they're there. Just to get the emulsion.
It's also a straight hole down into the earth.
Yeah, the whole cave into the emulsion, whatever. Yeah. And that's where the Locusts have built all their tunnels, and that's what the resonators is to map those tunnels.
And that is your main goal for this area, really, is to get the resonator to the most maximum effective area, right?
As far as I mean, I'd imagine, yeah.
Down to the bottom.
But first, you have to get into the factory.
Yep.
And they give you one door. You try it. It's locked. You can't get in it. Jack can't get it.
Speaking of, we haven't said who Jack is.
We haven't had to use Jack. I
feel like
I bet we have.
I think we have.
So Marcus has this like almost pet robot. I saw him as a pet, but he's probably more of a teammate robot. And his name is Jack. He really only appears when Marcus needs a door cut open.
You can't kick a door open.
Yeah, when you can't kick a door open, which all of these doors look pretty much all the same. Marcus can kick through some of them, and then there's some doors Marcus can't kick through.
Yeah.
There's one of the block model. But so Jack opens doors for us almost all the time.
But this one he can't get through.
Which was pretty inconvenient.
Yeah, they mentioned that the iron's like super thick that he can't cut through it.
And we end up just going around the outside of the factory to get in. Nothing really big here. And once we get into the factory, I think this is where did they introduce the Lambent wrenches on the outside or the inside?
As you're walking up to find the door that's like that you can't get through, you're seeing them run around and stuff, and that's when they talk about it.
I think you first encounter them on the inside, though, don't you?
Yeah.
That's where you shoot them.
You only see them on the outside. So when you find a way into the factory, you end up encountering some of these Lambent wrenches, and you come find out that they explode.
When they die.
For the reasons we spoke about. And then you start making your way down into the factory.
Yeah, and I want
to the mine carts.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing is where we get in the factory to get to the mine carts.
Oh. You guys didn't know that? Oh.
Yeah, I just forgot. Yeah, the mine carts.
Yeah, it took me... for some reason, I was thinking the screw
I got
elevator.
shot at a lot on the minecarts.
Yeah, so, what's her name?
Well, just stay down.
I did. Because they get different angles on me.
So Anaya mentions that she's going to use the minecarts to guide you into the cave system to get you as far as she can into it, because that's what they use to get the lambit out, in and out, or the emulsion.
Actually, can I put a little thing here before we get to the minecarts?
Yeah.
Getting into the factory is one of the moments that your crew has to split up, and Baird and Cole end up having to go through the sewer.
Yeah.
And the whole time you are getting into the factory, I love their dialogue.
Oh, yeah, the comedy.
Well, then at one point you can see him through the floor.
You know, Baird is supposed to be the douchey, white guy.
No, he's the tech guy.
He's a super smart tech guy.
He's the tech guy. Yeah, he's the tech guy. But he's a dick.
Yeah, super dick.
I love Baird.
Yeah.
Baird's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His character development's great.
So Anaya is enacting this plan about the minecarts. And where were you at?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, she's going to use it to get us in there, and that's what she's mentioning. So the whole thing we're doing is just both teams are trying to find their way to the minecarts. And while doing that, we end up opening a door that enters a scene that is horrifying to most eyes. And it actually does a really cool effect that I really liked that they do later in the game. Because it's just it's a visual of just a bunch of bodies tore apart by the wretches and stuff. There's just guts everywhere.
All in that room.
It's all the surviving factory workers and everything like that.
We do find a survivor after
you open that door and it just flashes to your camera views just going back and forth, up in the top corner, down below, flashing in and out, and
it seemed a little out of place.
It's super weird.
It was super out of place.
I loved it. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was like a funny twist on a horror scene, like you're saying. Like
you just have like this meathead action game, and then all of a sudden it's a jump scary horror.
And the only time they flash that type of stuff is during gory stuff. It's like they get real close and back and close. Yeah, and it's really funny.
They really want to focus on that. This game is all about blood.
Yeah, so and then you go in there and you were saying something?
You find a survivor right after that.
Yeah, the next room.
And he leads you out of there.
Yeah, after being thinking he's just gonna get saved. He was like,
"You're the rescue team.
You're gonna take me right out of here, right? We're leaving, right?"
Yeah.
No, and then we head to the mine cards.
That guy doesn't make it to the mine card.
Yeah.
That's when there's that puzzle room. There you have to not fall through boards.
Oh yeah, and he's the first one to fall.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and there's just a bunch of wretches if you fall through.
Yeah, you just gotta work your way back up and get all the way through. I felt like at every board.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the point, that you're gonna fall at every corner you take because you're gonna pick the wrong. Once I think I picked the right board. One time. That was it.
You just had to walk on.
There was a specific board.
You had to walk on the rafters.
There's a cog necklace.
There were rafters on the floor below.
Oh, okay.
There's a cog necklace back there.
Eventually, you make it to the minecarts. Anaya gets you through the minecart system. All the while, like you were saying, people were shooting at you. I didn't have that much trouble with it. I didn't die.
I didn't die either.
I had to shoot one dude, and that's because the minecart stopped with him right above me.
Yeah.
And I was like, pop, pop, and then on we went.
Yep. And
bang, bang.
This is great. It's a little roller coaster to your kind of...
Slow.
Yeah.
Slow. Cruising, turning, dropping, like an elevator. It's a wild-ass railroad.
And then how does it let you out in the very end?
I'm not like...
I think it just stops. They both come to two different areas that meet up right next to you. Baird's on your side, and Cole and Don on the other side. And they just kind of eventually work through some doors and meet up again.
Yeah.
And then you split up because you're in the cave system.
Yeah, and now you're in the cave system, and there are, again, two different paths, the left path, the right path.
Yep.
And this is just another little hallway of enemies.
Yeah.
Before you get... And this area, this cave area, is just... It's kind of this massive underground area with these branching paths.
It's like a giant aquifer.
What's that?
Oh, it's like an underground cave system.
Oh,
okay. It's and so
that's exactly.
We get a lot of water from aquifers because it's just a giant lake of water. So think of this as a giant lake of emulsion everywhere. And there's cave systems, there's stalagmites, there's connection to
That's what
pillars.
Forms them, right? Is the water working through them. So
and you're walking on all these connections, and
bridges and
one of the main. Like, there's nothing too fancy here. You're fighting a bunch of guys.
No, there's a few paths that lead you to some like weapons and it's like here's some weapons that you may not have been able to grab yet. Yeah. Or like in a little bit, and you might want to switch your weapon that you have choice.
But eventually, you end up falling down this emulsion kind of waterfall.
Yeah, after you tell Baird and Cole to stay back with the resonator because you don't know what's coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to go map it out, and then you just end up falling, and you're like, well, it's all screwed. Just work your way through.
They say, okay.
But they say keep it safe.
Yeah.
And then you're in another kind of like cave little section.
It's just the same thing.
Same thing.
Working through it.
And you end up falling down again. But this time, through some rocks.
Yeah, and the whole time you're having that same kind of conversation, just Baird's like, well, this is fucked and shit like that.
Baird's being an asshole, Cole's being funny.
Yeah, it's just...
Dom's just your main
Cole was always down to kill. When he was shooting people, he's all, heck yeah, get some!
Yeah, anytime... Only time that... There's only one time that Cole had a problem with what Phoenix told him, but we'll get to that one.
And once you get down to this area, you end up fighting, in this game, what they call a bugbear.
Is that what it's called?
Don't lie to me.
No. It's called a corpser.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I got bugbear
D&D.
from. Yeah, I know D&D.
Yeah,
I don't know how it came into my head. Anyway, so this corpser's like this giant... I guess he's got spider legs again.
Oh yeah, he's Ungoliant size, bro.
Yeah.
Giant spider.
Well, he's got a weirder face.
He's like a giant salamander spider with a human kind of face, it
looks like a smashed in skull.
It looks it looks like a Locust face, pretty much. Just giant spiderish.
Yeah.
But it was a big friggin' spider.
Anyways, he uses these long spider arms to smack at you.
And to shield himself.
And
Shoot him in the belly.
After you shoot him in the legs a couple times, Dom says, "Hey, shoot him in the belly." And you just go through this boss fight, fighting this giant guy and shooting him in the belly.
Yeah, and if you really want to know, you can stand on either left or right side of him, and just, there's like this hole big enough between his legs, or you can just constantly hit his belly.
I just stood super far back, and it didn't do nothing to me.
If you stand far enough back on the right side, is what I did, and shot his belly. Every time he'd open up, shoot his mouth,
and then I even stepped up, like I could dodge his little fucking stupid claws.
Yeah, and then the last one, you just gotta survive the wretches, and
then it said shoot the snaps.
Until it breaks itself. Oh, really?
Yeah, if you shoot those snaps, like those things that I don't know if you saw them pop up at all.
I didn't.
Yeah, that said shoot these snaps, that's what it said, snaps. And there were these two fucking snaps, and I'd shoot one and it's all pink and popped up, and I shot the other one pink, and then it dumped that fucker into the.
He dumped himself for me. So.
Oh no! Yeah,
I shot those snaps and it dumped him into the fucking
unless Dom did it, he dumped himself. Like
Dom must have done it.
He must have, because he kept on doing the smashes. So I thought
he might have broken himself.
He eventually broke it himself.
Anyways, after he falls into this emulsion, the corpser dies.
Can I mention one quick part?
Go for it. Yeah,
the corpser comes out of the emulsion. And
he jump scares you,
No, he puts his claw right by Marcus. Marcus just takes one step back, and he's just like, boom.
So Marcus wasn't affected by it, but I jump scared.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, alright. Yeah, Marcus just being a badass just stands there and takes it.
Yeah, he just takes one step, and it just keeps clawing it and then falls and dies, so I just thought that was really funny.
And now we're headed to this oil rig. This kind of like emulsion oil rig.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
That's what I pretty much took it as, was like a super deep center pumping it all out.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a fracking station.
And we're still separated, but we can see.
This is actually where we meet up.
No, we meet up. Yeah.
This is where we meet
really?
up.
Yeah, we meet up right
now.
Ooh,
and then we.
So outside of this emulsion pumping station, you, Baird, Cole, and Dom all get back together, and this is where they bring in the Theron guards.
Yeah, right before you split up again.
So Theron guards are just locusts with more armor, and most of them shoot.
I think they still took the same amount of damage.
Really?
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were pretty easy to kill. The snipers one shot them.
I didn't have much
the 3-round burst.
You're totally
still taking
right.
out a few shots. Yeah. I just think they move faster, and they shoot that torque bow. And
with like precision, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you were out and that light was on you got shot in the shoulder.
Maybe that's a casual thing though. Maybe because we were all playing on casual, Maybe on a higher difficulty, they're
oh man, all of them. Well, yeah, all of them are gonna have more health.
Well, yeah, but maybe that has more health than the normal Locust too. Yeah. Like maybe
shit. Because those, dude, I played it on the harder one.
Yeah, but did you fight a Theron guard?
No, I didn't make it past the first level, dude.
After you take out the Theron guards, Baird sets. Every time I say that name now, I have to. Baird. Baird sets the resonator, and you guys.
You get on a platform and straight.
And the platform you get on is like a giant drill.
And then it's a cutscene. And then
it's like one of the pistons or whatever kind of a thing that goes up or something.
Giant corkscrew.
And I think, what was her name?
Anaya
is the one like operating that stuff, making those things go up for you.
Yeah, she's doing everything mechanical.
Yeah, they're calling them lifts, but I'm pretty sure they're like you're saying.
That's what it looked like, a big corkscrew.
Right as soon as you make it out of this factory, the resonator goes off.
Yep.
And turns out that the results from the resonator are shit.
Yeah, and it's daytime now, too.
Yeah, you fought all night, and it's daytime, yeah.
You're actually trying to set the resonator before dusk.
Yeah.
So, because I think you want all the krill to come in, or something. You don't want the krill in the caves.
You're trying to set the resonator before dawn.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because I think the krill go back into the cave systems.
Yeah. When the sun comes up, the krill come back into the caves, and you don't want to be in the caves when the krill are there.
Yeah, okay.
So when you come up, it's bright and sunny. You didn't get the information you needed from the resonator, but so Baird has this little orb thing that he just happened to find. And funny thing that I found out, Kyle.
In Act 1 or 2. I noticed him in a cutscene sitting there playing with it, and Cole had asked him, he's like, "What's that?" And Baird's all, "Nothing." And then later again, this same thing pops up, mapping out almost the entire cave system.
Yeah, so Baird, I'd happen to notice they're all around the cave systems. Like you'll notice them in nooks and crannies. I was messing with them. I was like, "What the heck are these?" I was trying to smash it. I didn't know what the heck they were. I just thought it was some random thing. Maybe it was like a piece of some of these insects or something.
So you have they have maps laying all over.
Yeah,
Marcus's father.
Yeah,
he was
trying to map it himself, I think, or something. But
it doesn't ever mention it. I only know that because I played future games.
But yeah, Baird comes up and says that he's hacked into this thing, and it could have the whole network.
He's like, I just stumbled upon this.
Yeah, it just popped up when he hacked into it.
And then Anaya.
And at this point, Marcus takes the orb and tells Jack to download it, right?
No. Well,
I don't know. I think Anaya just tracks the signal to his dad's house.
Yeah. So they can look at the map, but they want to save the data. But
it's not all of it. It's not all of it. It's only part of it, but it's still so much.
Something leads to Marcus's dad's house.
Yeah, there's a signal that leads to Marcus's dad's house.
Yeah, and Anaya maps that and figures that out and says we can get the whole thing if we go back to your house.
And that's the end.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention too. And Cole hears that and he's like, "God fucking damn it," or something like that, because he just realized everything that they just did in the last 3 acts for pointless. Yeah, pointless.
I thought that was the end of the game right there.
I did too. I thought they were all sitting down like, "What are you gonna have for your hot meal?"
I'm gonna eat all fucking day. Nah, we gotta go do more shit.
But no, we are headed into Act 4.
Yep.
Which is the long road home.
Yep.
Which was actually kind of long.
It was long.
It was a lot of fighting.
Fade into the beginning scene of this act. You're on a helicopter headed to Adam Phoenix's manor, which is some academy.
He was part of the COG training and stuff.
Yeah. So he lived at some academy. Yeah.
He grew up. His dad was a general.
I think he made.
His dad was a fucking general.
Okay.
General Adam Phoenix.
Which makes sense for what we're going to be going through here, because it is just a bunch of fucking enemies.
Crap, bro.
Yeah, just a bunch of corridors, a bunch of shooting
almost
stuff.
Open areas, like the whole way.
Yeah, until you're in the house where you have to defend it for a while.
Yeah.
So, really, the goal to the manor is apparently there is data there that we need.
He has a lab.
I think it's the rest of the map.
Yeah. So we're heading to the manor to get the data and hopefully escape unscathed. Heading to the manor, I believe, is just a bunch of straightforward enemies.
Mostly, yeah. After the helicopter crashes, you have to go
I
did a lot of sniper fighting.
I mean, I figure in any action game, if you're on a helicopter, it's going to crash, right? Helicopters just don't land.
Yours crashes. Yours lands.
No, it crashes gently.
Does it?
No.
I pretty much sniped when we were all outside.
Yeah.
It was really far. They were really few. I could be sitting back and just...
So these little Reavers take down your teammate helicopter.
Oh, did we mention the torque bow?
Yeah.
We did at the very beginning.
So,
but we found the torque bow before the emulsion oil rig, whatever.
We mentioned it with the Theron guards.
Yeah, on the Theron guards, I picked up the torque bow, and I'm just running this whole thing with torque bow basically from here on out. Like, it's just torque bow until I have to pick up the Hammer of Dawn for a minute.
Yeah.
And then torque bow again.
Cool. Snipes. Whole way.
Yeah, I gave up my sniper for the torque bow.
And shotgun?
No, torque bow.
Nah, man. 3 on burst, I'd sit, they'd come to me, I'd just keep shooting them, and if they got close, and like some of them, they wouldn't even shoot you, they just hop straight over your wall.
So,
and you could just hit fire.
I'm not exactly sure when it is leading up to the laboratory in Adam Phoenix's house. Oh. There is a berserker. Again, you're doing the same thing, running him through walls till you can get him outside and use the Hammer of Dawn on him.
There's also a couple cedars that you fight on the way there too.
Yeah, so there's a couple Hammer of Dawn moments.
Yeah, you're like...
It's actually kind of reminiscent of Act 1.
Yeah, it's kind of the final, like, here's, like, our last Hammer of Dawn uses.
Here's just everything. Here's all the fighting.
Yeah, here's all your weapons.
Like,
just have at it.
Up to Act 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, here's a bunch of enemies, have fun.
Once you get into the house, do you do the wave defense, or, like, do you do that before or after?
No, you go in and clear out the house. The house is not full of guys, but there's guys.
So, after you get to the basement.
So, you're heading to the basement to the lab. There's another moment where Jack has to open a door and you defend it.
That takes a good while.
Yeah.
And then you go up to the second story front of the house. That's where we're...
But when you're in the lab, after Jack opens the door, Anaya says they can't transfer the data over network because it's too big, so Jack has to download the data.
Yeah, and deliver it manually.
Yeah. You leave Jack because the house is under assault now. The house is under assault. Jack. You have to go to the top room, like Kyle was saying, and just defend the house.
Yeah, it's just waves at this point. You get some boomers and a bunch of locusts.
Was it hard for you guys?
No.
Not really.
No?
I died twice.
I died a lot.
I died twice.
I don't know why, but that was kind of rough.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
I only died twice because I would be shooting people out the front and one guy would sneak in behind me.
No, I'd shoot the guys that came behind, but like it was the guys out front
that
would just murder me.
Really?
I'd be trying to snipe the Theron guard, the first guy.
Yeah.
And they would all just...
Oh, this is
the
first time that we ran into the boomers. I ran into the boomers with the...
No. That was just part of that scene. Because you couldn't kill him.
Oh, really?
I shot him 3 times with the sniper before I hit the door.
Oh, because he's the one who
blows up the door.
Oh.
He's part of the scene. It has to happen.
Okay.
Because, I definitely felt like they were shooting that dude. Because it did nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to kill that guy. Fuck it.
Those boomers do have deadly accuracy with them rockets.
If you're popping out, they'll hit you square in the face. There's that corner
from a mile
of the wall
away.
Where you could be like, you just have like your shoulder and half your face out, and it's off.
Yeah. It's if they shoot when you're like above
the
cover.
If you're in cover, it goes over you every time.
Yeah.
And if it hits the wall, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Boomers didn't bug me that much.
Yeah.
Not really.
I got killed by boomers more than Locusts.
I got the boomers would hit me, and then a homie would shoot me. Yeah. And I'd be like dead.
I'd always die.
It'd be instantaneous, just death.
But yeah, after that wave, you run to the back, I think.
Yeah, Jack downloaded the data, and it's time to go.
Yeah.
During this whole wave fight in the house, while you guys are fighting, Baird and Cole are off repairing another APC for you.
Yeah.
So after you get done fighting and you get Jack and you get out of the house, you are headed to the APC to get out of there.
Yeah, actually, when you're doing the wave, I think you send them to go get it.
Yeah, but at the very beginning, they're like, we'll go fix it, you defend Jack.
And then I think they said that they showed up, and that's when we moved to the back.
As you're running out of the house, I think we were talking before the podcast started, and I think we all had a similar experience. There's a timer that pops up on the top of the screen that I didn't notice the first time. I know Kyle didn't notice the first time.
First 8 times.
8 times? Jeez.
I didn't notice it off the first time. The second time, because I was like, what the heck, how did I die?
Yeah. So The timer is for what they call...
A Bormac? A Bormac?
A Bormac, yeah. So, a Brumac.
Brumac, yeah.
Brumac. And if you don't get to your APC in time, the Brumac will destroy your APC and you'll fail. Yeah, you fail. Run your little ass over there.
Yeah, they give you like a 20-second timer.
And I didn't know that.
So
I tried to remember.
Really
you kill 2 boomers, and then it starts a 20-second timer.
Oh, really?
The second you kill those 2 boomers.
Okay.
See, that's why I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Because I kill the boomers and then run up, and more guys would show up, and I just fight.
Yeah, you can literally sit there and have one boomer just sitting there.
But then
once he dies, that timer starts, and that's what I noticed.
And then
I
still thought that guy was going to shoot me when I got out of there.
Oh yeah.
Throwing those fireballs at us.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't think I was gonna make it. I had 2 seconds, and I'm like, I can't get there, and then it registered as me getting in it. I'm like, thank you.
I don't remember it ever being that tight because I thought it was like a 5-minute timer.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it was like seconds, bro.
Dude, it was seconds.
Was it a longer timer, and then after you killed the boomers, it went down?
No. I don't know. I don't remember timer. I don't remember timer until being out there.
The boomers didn't. So the boomers are there, and then when you kill the 2 boomers, another boomer comes out and he opens the way, and then you can run through, and that's when the timer starts.
Cool.
Is what I remember. I might be wrong.
Maybe yeah. Something like that happens, and you are headed out of there on this brand new APC that the guys fixed up for you.
It's shinier.
Yep. And
you did.
So you got the data. So let's take a second to kind of recap before this last act. That's the end of Act 4.
Yep.
So Act 1, you get Alpha Team.
And the Resonator.
And Resonator. Act 2, you are getting your APC and headed for the mines.
Yep.
Act 3, setting off the Resonator in the mines. And then Act 4, getting the data you need, and you are headed to the end of the game to set off a light mass bomb.
That's on a moving train.
On a moving train that is on a track that has no end.
I felt like
actually it has an end, but
we didn't know that the bridge was out, I don't think, until like last second.
Yeah, until the cutscene.
Yeah.
So, Act 5, Desperation.
It was insane. I gotta tell you, it was insane.
I don't think...
I loved it.
It was fun.
Oh, I loved it. Powering through this train, those wretches.
So, this whole act takes place on a moving train. It's kind of just your last enemy rush before the end of the game.
Yeah, you have to get on the train first, which is pretty funny.
Remind me?
Oh, man.
Oh, so you go into the train station. I think you
fight a bunch of guys in emergency holes.
You have to fight a bunch of them, and as you're getting on it, the train's just whizzing by, and you jump on, and Cole and Barrett are fighting. They're like, "Oh, we'll get on," and you jump on, and then
they leave.
The second they turn around, it's the end of the train. And they're like, and Cole's just like,
"Oh, we suck.
Yeah, we suck.
We'll get on the helicopter and see you there."
Yeah.
Why not just take the helicopter? Why didn't we all stay on the helicopter?
Well, you need to get it to the bomb.
We need because the helicopter didn't get there. Let's just tell the story.
So let's just tell the story. Speeding by and it's being run by Locust.
So this whole you jump on the back of a train and you kind of make your way up the first couple carts, and this is where you fight your last berserker.
Eventually, yeah. After
you power through most of the train.
Yeah, you get through the whole train basically.
You power.
The berserker's just like you get through the first. It's at the very end of the train because you have to disconnect the train.
So this is what I disliked about the game. They kept on taking away train cars that were supposed to be there.
Really?
Yeah, they dropped the berserker in, not at the end, like in the middle, but it says it's at the end, and you just release the last cart. And I'm like, that doesn't, because if you look at the cutscene at the end, there's only like 2 or 3 carts on this whole fucking train that you've walked like 20 carts already. Like it doesn't. They keep cutting carts out. Like I don't know if that has like they're destroying
continuity
or what.
Well, regardless, there's nothing leading up to the berserker. I don't believe.
Just a bunch of Locust fights.
Yeah,
and then you do a Gatling gun fight against all.
That's after the berserker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like right before.
Ooh, those revenants. Yep. Let's go. So the berserker, we outrun. Lead.
You lead him, and you detach the cart.
So I detached
Dom
the cart.
does absolutely nothing.
So I want to say this. I detached the cart.
Dom is usually helpful though,
and
he does all right. He does alright.
For some reason, I hit the button to detach it, and then I was like, "Oh wait, I was probably supposed to have the berserker on there and detach it." And then the berserker I realized was running at me, and he ran right off the fucking edge because I dodged.
Oh, nice! That's cool.
All right,
that's a cool way to do it.
It
was a better way to do it.
Interesting.
You did it.
And that's the end of the berserker. After the berserker goes flying off the end of the train, in Doty's case, we are just fighting more wretches down train carts, more Theron guards. There's nothing really of consequence. I think you hit a couple buttons to open a couple doors, and then you get to this section, you get to this train car with a ladder in it. And why don't you tell me what happens when you climb up this ladder?
You kill some guys that are on some Gatling guns, and then we're calling them They were called
Revenants?
These ones are Revenants.
These are Revenants. They got riders.
So they're these like giant octopus-looking things. Like, not octopus, but
squid. They got tentacles and they fly.
Yeah, if you know what a netch is.
They said they inked the sky. That's why we couldn't use the Hammer of Dawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
I forgot about. I just remember that. I remember them saying like when the berserker showed up, he's like, "Anaya, give me the Hammer of Dawn," and she's like, "We can't. The Revenants are inking out the sky." Wow. And that's what all that shit is up in the fucking sky above the train.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so there's a purpose to the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, and then
that's pretty cool.
If you know what a netch is, it's just like an ugly looking netch. But there's some guys riding it, and a bunch of them keep coming on the left and the right side of the train, and they're shooting at you. They're shooting at you the whole time, and so you gotta take them out with your Gatling gun.
I stopped using the Gatling gun.
This game is co-op.
Really?
This game is co-op, so they give you 2 on either side. So if you had co-op, you could just murder through these.
Yeah.
But if you're just single player, you gotta jump back and forth, which I noticed, and I thought
if you got them while they were far enough out, it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's
behind
true.
Cover on the back, behind the Gats.
Yeah.
And just that 3-round burst, I could shoot the driver and then shoot the driver, or the shooter. You could shoot the shooter and the whole thing would drop.
I think this lasted a little too long, though.
There were a lot of them.
There were a bunch of them.
Too many.
They just kept coming, yeah.
But it makes sense because he's saying they inked the sky, so they might as well just keep coming. There's hella of them, right?
Yep.
And they show up more the next scene.
After you end up destroying thousands of Revenants, you're headed to the front of this train, and you end up running into the guy you've been seeing this whole time. The antagonist, the big baddie himself. Ram
jam up his
butt. Is that
I call him Rom because it's 2 A's.
Yeah.
R-A-A-M. Rom. I figured that's how you say it.
I think that's heavier, like more metal.
Rom.
Yeah.
Like I think
Rom.
Yeah.
Whatever. So this is kind of the end all be all boss battle of the game. You're fighting a big old Locust guy. And so how'd you do it? Well, how did I do? I'll let you guess. Kyle just beckoned to me, asking me how I did it, and I will give you one guess on how I did it based on how I played the whole rest of the game.
Sniped him.
Just sat there and sniped him. I did not move from that first barricade and just sat there and sniped him. He got close to me, I would switch sides on the barricade and sit there and snipe him.
Nice. So I tried the first way by running right at him, but I would like to mention I did die several times. He comes up to you, punches you, kills you. It happens. Yeah. I died probably 3 times. Yeah, he's not an easy boss, regardless how you take it. But there's a barricade right in front of him. If you just charge him instantly, you can get in that barricade, and you can finesse it to where he's walking back and forth on the other side of it, and you can just, over the barricade, shoot at him.
Blind fire?
Because it's point blank, yeah.
Oh.
And I was trying to do that, but it would always be this one time where it would just fidget me enough to where he just nailed me in the head a shitload, and I died instantly going over that barricade.
Yeah.
And so, but then I found out I had the torque bow still. Yeah. I had about 10 shots in it, and every time you do any type of explosion damage to him, hit the krill that are surrounding him that basically block all damage, go away. And then you can pull out your, Lancer? Yeah. And just shoot the hell out of him. And then your bow has enough time where it hits him, beep, 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 then blows up, and in that time you're pulling out your Lancer.
So you're shooting him right
and and it gives you like maybe 3-4 seconds before, because the krill fly out and then they fly back in. Oh. So, and then you shoot him. Alright, shoot him again with your torque, and then I just did that until he died.
Yeah, I forgot about the krill.
So those krill, if you could got in the fucking dark, they killed you.
Yeah.
The krill,
they'll swarm you.
Now that you bring that up, that's how I died a couple times.
Yeah.
It's like, he didn't punch me or anything.
If you got in the dark areas around there, they'd swarm you.
I died a lot. I don't remember how many times, but a lot. Torque bow, I'm all, heck yeah, torque bow's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I shot him a lot.
Yeah.
I had 9 rounds, I just shot him.
Yeah.
And I would reload, I had enough time, and I'd shoot him. Didn't work. So I started running around, and there was a gat gun.
Yeah.
Up there. So I tried to run to it.
Oh, really?
It's in the dark.
Wow.
It didn't work.
Oh,
I died.
It's in the dark.
I died. The krill got me.
Dang.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. The krill got me. Died. Couldn't even get to it.
That
So then I got like fed up over trying.
Is there a propane tank?
No, there's nothing.
No, that
nothing.
sucks.
It was just dark.
Nothing.
It was pointless. It teased me.
Dang.
And so I took that 3-round burst gun and went out there, and I sat behind that first barrier, and he didn't even get close to me. Though I didn't pay attention to the revenants coming on the side.
Yeah.
He didn't get close to me. I just unloaded 700 rounds into that guy.
Yeah.
And then he died. The krill didn't really dissipate or go away. I just unloaded.
Well, it's when he would send them at you is when you were supposed to shoot them.
But I just fucking didn't stop.
If you got lucky, like, the sides on the train wouldn't fall down right away. Yeah. So the revenants on the sides, as long as you were right there, they wouldn't shoot you. So.
I kept pushing.
Did you get killed by any of those revenants?
No, they never bugged me.
Yeah, they never bugged me either.
Yeah. They shot the shit out of me a lot. I was always afraid.
Damage annoyance, I think is what it was.
Until I stayed at the front, they did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So I just kind of cheated and sat back there and just pounded his face in with those bullets.
No, once I found out that I could just use the torque bow to get all the krill away from him, I was like, yeah, this is how I murder him. Like, this is how you do it. Right?
And after you murder the head honcho himself,
it does some crazy ass like pew on his death, and like we saw earlier,
like some crazy jump cuts.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome again. Yeah, and it like fades out the colors and stuff.
And you're in charge of the train now.
Hook up the data to all those missiles that are on there.
What is it called? The light mass bomb?
So the light mass bomb is a bomb that shoots a bunch of missiles to the coordinates that are in the map data that you gathered at.
To like the centers of the populations of where they would do the most damage.
Yeah. So you upload the data to this bomb that's on this train, and your job's pretty much done at this point.
You just did the cutscene for them?
Come to find out that the bridge has been blown. The train's gonna crash. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then here comes who?
It's just Dom.
Who drives the helicopter?
Some guy.
Some guy comes flying in. And he parks it super dope next to the side of the train. Dude, he flies through the bridge. Yeah. That's what I saw. I'm like, dude, the plane's going to pull up. And he's like, what's going to happen? I'm like, and then it's off. Boom. And I'm like, all right, cool. This guy's a badass.
What I thought was kind of silly is that Phoenix just keeps on looking forward, looking at it and looking forward, and I'm like, are you gonna jump? Like,
come on, so what? Yeah, the helicopter's flying through this tunnel, and Marcus is, like Doty said, just taking way too long to jump off this. It was just to build up anxiety and anticipation, and then it went straight into that river of emotion.
He definitely had time to jump before they had to drive through the goddamn...
And Marcus jumps. And the train goes into the emulsion, and the light mass bomb successfully goes off.
I'm doing air quotes over successfully.
Yeah, successfully. That's why there's 5 games, right? And that's
the Queen talks at the very end.
That's the end of the game.
If there's like one of us, we're still gonna fight.
Yep, the Queen, the hive mind herself, comes in with narration, kind of giving the last ending monologue of the game, saying that we are not going to stop as long as we are alive. We will come for you and we will kill you.
Until you kill us.
And that's the end of Epic Games Gears of War, the original one. The old one, 2006.
Woo. I'm going to go play all of them.
I am not. I'm going to wait to play them for the show.
I will be the knowledge.
Be the all-knowing.
I will be the all-knowing.
But, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions for the show, let us know. Games to play, if you have any comments on Gears of War itself, or the game we are going to play next week, which we are going to be announcing here in just a second, let us know. We have several facets. I mean, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Reddit, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah. You just told me you're on Spotify.
We're on Spotify now.
Hopefully we'll be on
Apple soon. Yeah, hopefully we'll be on Google soon. But yeah, we need to rank it. We need to rank it.
Yeah, let's see what are our other rankings.
How do you guys rank it?
So, in the past episodes, we are ranking the games that we have played for the show in our our most favorite to least favorite order.
So you guys have 4?
This is our 4th.
That's it, yeah.
So mine goes Dishonored was my favorite, Banjo-Kazooie was my second, and then Fable, my least favorite that we've played. I'm going to put Gears of War in front of Fable, but behind Banjo-Kazooie. So it's number 3 for me. So Dishonored, Banjo-Kazooie, Gears of War,
Dishonored.
Fable.
Dishonored was great.
So, Dishonored was a great game. Yeah.
You guys got to hit it.
So
Banjo-Kazooie was... But Banjo-Kazooie has nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
I played Banjo-Kazooie when I was a kid.
My ranking, bit different. Not by much.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie and Gears. Do a flip. And you got Dishonored, you got Gears, Banjo, then Fable.
Yeah.
But that's because I don't have any nostalgia.
You said you liked Fable more than
did I?
Banjo. I think you did.
Well, they're butt heads. Like Fable. I have more nostalgia, but it was a really trashy game in the mechanics wise, and that was really what made the game hard for me.
Yeah.
Gears I really hated the mechanics because of the B button. I just hate that B button.
Yeah.
And then the running.
Only for the Lancer. And it's like that in every game.
B button and running, don't like it.
Okay, you have no control over where you're running.
Yeah. It's just you run at a straight, crouched, run forward, and you kind of turn left and right, but barely.
That's the point.
But and then
Kyle, out of all the games you've played on the podcast, what's your favorite?
Well, out of all the games I played, I have played Gears of War.
So where would you put that?
Number 1 with Gears of War.
Nice!
Woo! Like it.
Oh, what else do we do at the end of these shows, Doty?
I think we just say thank you and we announce our next game.
Right. So our next game is going to be Spyro.
Yeah.
The original Spyro. I don't know if there's a title under it. Is it Year of the Dragon? No,
there's different ones.
Spyro
1. We're doing Spyro 1.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to play the remastered version, which might have a few differences, but I don't think story-wise it doesn't. It's just, visually.
I might try and get my hands on an original PlayStation 1. I might play it on my RetroPie emulation station.
If I can find my old school, because this one has nostalgia. I love this
I do have it on PS4, though, so I'll probably end up playing it on that.
Yeah, I have it for my Xbox. Probably going to play it on that, but if I can find my old PlayStation and my old disc, I will definitely play it on my old PlayStation. So,
Kyle, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Definitely.
It was a pleasure having you.
Definitely can't wait to play more games.
Yeah.
We'll have you anytime. If you want to come back,
never
come
stop.
on back. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for listening to the Green Desert Podcast. And as always, just thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Just a little time out. Scratch. Damn! Stand up. Fall down. Stand up. Yeah, that's right. Fall down. To the left. Doing good, baby. To the right. To the left. To the right. Stand up. Hell yeah. Fall down. Stand up. All right. Fall down. To the left. To the right. To the left. Yeah, that's right. To the right. What's up, ladies? Gonna freak you on. Stay cool, baby. Man, that was nasty. Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit. Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit. Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit. Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit. I'm in the zone, baby. Oh yeah, I got enough for all of y'all. Ain't enough freaks to stop this man. Here comes some more. Boom. I'm in the zone, baby. Boom. back in the game.